3, 2, 1. Amani Channel here. I just want to thank you for taking a moment to watch this video, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're finding this on the internet. Because, just a few years ago, we didn't have this technology that allowed us to share our own messages independent of either mainstream media or a big high budget production studio or production house, production company. All right, so hopefully you know me by now. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a media professional. I've worked in broadcasting for several years. And, I just wanted to talk about storytelling because at the end of the day, whatever kind of message you're trying to share, it's going to be enhanced by telling a story. So if you know my background, you know that I'm from East Palo Alto, California, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area. I attended community college at the College of San Mateo, which is where I got my first introduction to broadcasting. Really fell in love with the art with my first announcing class that I took during my second semester. So I've never not worked in something media related ever since that second semester at College of San Mateo. I went on to work at the College of San Mateo's radio station, which is KCSM. It's the only jazz station in the Bay Area. I had an on-air shift there. Was blessed to be able to work as an associate producer for a television program on the station's PBS station. And then due to a mentor who was the general manager of the station, his name is David Hosley, I was encouraged to go to University of Florida where I continued my studies. And that's pretty much all she wrote. All right, so, I've worked for several news organizations throughout the years. I've told, probably hundreds of broadcast stories. I've also told several stories, multimedia independent type of stories over the years. And what really highlighted to me the power of storytelling happened in 2006. It was about 10 years ago, actually around this very time. 10 years ago, I was still living in Tampa, Florida. I was working at WVC, which is a Fox station there in Tampa, Florida. And my wife and I were pregnant with twins. It was a very exciting time of our lives. It was our first time experiencing a pregnancy. And so being the video geek that I am, I was recording everything. I was recording doctor's visits. I was recording my own thoughts. This wasn't anything that I really planned to share. It was just with a little consumer grade camcorder, pretty mini DV. It was a tape camcorder at the time, so it wasn't anything expensive or elaborate. But 20 weeks in the pregnancy, my wife and I just experienced an unexpected turn of events. We were in New York and visiting her sister, and when we landed, my wife was complaining about, she said her eye felt funny, and she was experiencing some neurological symptoms related to that. And so, she actually was hospitalized in New York, and then she got released from the hospital. They cleared her for release, so we flew back to Tampa. And a day after we got back to Tampa, she delivered our boys, and they were identical twins, just 20 weeks old though, which is way too early, way too soon to survive. It wasn't a miscarriage, though. They were definitely babies, and we held them and loved on them for the hour that they were with us, and then they passed on. And that was just, it was terrible. I mean, I don't pray that anybody ever again has to experience what we experienced that day. Knowing now, though, that premature birth is a lot more frequent and a lot more couples experience it than, you probably even realize. So what did I do after that? I had all this video. It was about a year later, and my wife and I were trying to figure out, what we were going to do because, I wanted to do something to remember my twins. And so we decided to do a little fun impromptu fundraiser for the March of Dimes. So I took that, 2 hours of raw video, I edited it down into a little, 10-minute, call it a mini documentary. I called it My Boys, uploaded it to YouTube, and right away just started getting some comments from folks who not only empathize, but some people have gone through something similar. Since we posted that video, we've been able to raise thousands of dollars for the March of Dimes, and we've been able to touch folks in a way that we never knew we could. All right, so by just sharing our story, as tragic as it was, I realized the power of, and I had already known that YouTube was a powerful force, but just by sharing that personal story, which wouldn't have gotten covered in any sort of news organization or any sort of mainstream outlet, but just by me being able to share that ourselves, we were able to see the good that could come out of something like that. So now I have a 7-year-old boy. Devin was born in 2008. So, there is a silver lining to that story. But, you probably have something that you've experienced. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything as tragic as what we went through. But the point is, You probably have a personal experience, a lesson that you've learned, or have an expertise or experience in something that could benefit or help others. And that's really the power of being able to share your story independent of, the traditional media as we know it. You now have the power. We're in a really unique time. You have the power to share your story, to reach people, to influence people, to help people, to serve people, really is what it's all about. And the question is, why aren't you doing it? What's your story? What are you trying to share? What's your message? You probably have some burning thing in the back of your mind saying, I know I should share that, but something might be holding you back. So, I just want to share that with you just to say, now's the time. Don't hold back. There's someone who you can touch. There's someone who could benefit from your message. And the best thing you could do is share it. All right. So just get out there, set up your camera. You don't have to have a big elaborate setup like I have. I have lights and microphone and all that. So you can just use your smartphone to get started. The important thing though is to share your story and watch the magic happen. All right. Amani channel, Web Video Chefs. Peace.